Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Um, I am actually cleaning up a bit of code, moving around, and I did not make any special announcements about the stream today. But I'm gonna, I thought, yeah, why not just stream anyway? Might just talk a bit to myself. So it's gonna be a bit of a lo-fi stream. So yeah, I decided to do a big refactor 3 days before I should publish the game by moving everything. Wait. By moving all the physics into the physics step. And yes, it used to be tied to the rendering frames. So, but now all this thing, I removed all this thing from the main function and moved it into a separate function. But I thought, okay, well, since I have all this data about like gear ratios, I don't know, impulses, throttles, and stuff, I thought maybe I should just move it into a class or a struct in this case. So yeah, it just exists in a separate class. Maybe it should after all be a class, since it's not a tiny plain old data. But yeah, it should be a class, but then make everything public. Okay. So yeah, I moved all the car data from the main function into a separate class. And now I have to fix all these errors that I have. First, the problem is that I combined all the audio and engine stuff and physics stuff together. So audio and physics is totally combined. For example, here I have sleep ratio that I'm using for sound. I'm gonna move to the end. This is the break. Let me. Yeah. This is old, which I might get it back. Oh, by the way, since the new physics with tire slip is not that reliable, I might actually temporarily get it back until I fix it. Get it back to the old method of just applying force to the car. So yeah, there's audio engine drive velocity difference. Let's move that. And I do even have this, so anything that's not const is basically should be out here. And let's initialize like this. So that we can grab it outside. SPD log. Slip X, okay. Yeah, this is the old slip factor. Slip factor. Feedback impulse. Right, this is connected to this. Okay. Yeah, this is the old method. Maybe maybe I should put like a define somewhere, or so that I can switch between the two. Legacy. Legacy. How do you say? A legacy power. No, define. We'll call it acceleration. So now I can put this into a this is part of it. Right. Slick lookup scale. I did remove it. Oh, this is actually part of game. Grip multiplier. Let's actually move it to the car. Audio. Start position. Yeah, let's move this to the car. Tire friction. Oh no. Now I have to load parameters before. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, this needs to be here. One of the annoying things about C++. Order matters. Yeah, let's say that this is only in legacy acceleration. Okay, so let me make this work first. Hello, Pyrxos. I'm just moving around some code today. Yeah, of course, grip is now part of the car. Anything else? This is as well. Okay, so we have audio. Slip for sound, slip ratio limit, clamped slip for sound. I did actually copy this, so I don't, yeah, that's the thing. Right? I think it is. This should be the same. Yeah, it is. Okay, whoops. No, it should be there. Okay. except that this should be car. Desired speed. I see. Step ratio for sounds. Desired speed. Okay, let's put this outside. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Expected a more than. Is this a bug? I think so. Ah. Expected a more than. What? Car desired speed. Okay, is it maybe because it says that car float is not reliable or something? That's strange. Okay. So this is now all part of the car. Let's see if this error goes away. Okay, what else? And of course the GUI. Oh, particles. Oh, particles. This should probably be a separate class as well. Particle velocity slip multiplier. Where am I even modifying particles? Okay, I'm not using particles here either. So let me just no particles. Let me just remove it for now. Okay, and now we go on to the GUI, which has a lot of car references. Ugh, now I have to move this. Yeah, this sucks about classes and structs. You have to put them outside of the class now. And everything was in line when it was like in a single function. Everything is so much cleaner, easier when everything is in a single function. Now I have plenty of stuff that is outside. Okay, let's put these things that already exist. Okay, this is fixed. Particles. Okay, what is this? Ah. It's all the way here. Let's actually put the particle stuff outside. Before, I see. If this was in transmission, that means, where, this is the old one. Particle speed multiplier, particle velocity. Okay, so these are all like static things that are not changed. So they should be outside of the while loop. Right? Yeah, let me get these particles back after all. So, there is still this error. Expected a more than. What the hell? Desired speed. This is weird. I've never encountered this error before. Okay, if I just say this. Okay, still doesn't work. What? What am I missing? What's wrong with this line? It was grounded. Or absolute speed. Does it even exist? Ah, doesn't exist. That's why. So where's my ab speed? Of course, it's here. Okay, now it's worked. What's the next issue? Decoupled, right. It's these things. Maybe this could even be like functions, actually. Inline functions. Okay. So, instead of these, I'm gonna use a function. Mm-hmm. Okay, what else is there? Yeah, I have car decoupled now. Let me make sure that all of them are functions, and this one. Okay. So, car dot audio engine drive velocity difference. Is that part of the car? It is. Okay, the only remaining thing is particles. I can't make them. I see. They can't be const because I'm changing them in the GUI. Okay, that's it. Let's see if anything works. Whoa. Why is it running so slow? I fucked something up. Whoa. Okay, everything is fucked up. Yay. So. Let me check all the values. This should be outside. I need to make that static. So yeah, I remember there was some formula I put in here. Oh yeah. Last gear ratio. Does this even compile correctly? Idle. Nice. Everything is totally broken. Okay, let me remove this TikTok thing. Okay. I guess that was just the problem. Oh, but the ratios are totally broken. So maybe I can't initialize gears like this. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Okay. Here n is in order to use as the array. Initialization, like arrays, we initialize simply assigning the values. There is another way of initializing, which is shown below. Okay. So I don't actually need to have this to array thing. Right? Okay. Was this the problem? Nope. For some reason it goes to R and -2. Like, what the fuck? So revving works, right? Revving works in neutral. It does. So I think there's no problem there. The problem is with the ratios. Ah! Number of gears. Gears num? Ah! Okay, so I think that you can get this by float gears num as ratio size. Is this going to work? Const no except const expert. Yeah, I think that you can actually assign the value like this. Although I can just use ratio size. And it's not even used. Is somebody using it? I see. Okay, let's. I'm overcomplicating it, and it's terrible. It's terrible. Refactoring it, ring in C++. I hate it. Okay, so number of gears. Yeah, we're gonna keep it here. And then I'm gonna make sure that the car sets game gears num to gears num from inside. What's the error? Beautiful. So this is this problem is related to formatting somewhere. Okay, what did I change? So here it worked. Yeah. And then suddenly it stopped working. So I must have changed something else. Accidentally. Okay, it works. It works again. Cool. Then I moved all the data to car. That's good. Okay, successful. Now what we can do is we can move this simulation stepping. Let's say let's remove this. Moved simulation step. Moved car data to car data. Okay, what else? What else is there? Yeah, so let's try to use this. Where do I set the... Where was my tick and talk? What was the name? Physics tick, something like that. What does it say? Oh, there it is. Physics tick. Physics tick. Okay, and now I can call car update simulation, step simulation, right? So instead of using this one, interesting. They have another problem. I think this is just because of... This is just because the tick happens before. Okay, let's move this to the bottom. So, that terrible template error was actually all about just not being aware. So yeah, if I move this function above, I'm gonna have an error that says a literal operator template must have a template parameter list equivalent to char. Like, it's a formatting error that doesn't make any sense, but actually it's just that my function was not aware of the step simulation. Oh god. C++. You just have to know these things. That the error is probably somewhere else and completely unrelated to what you want. Okay, so let's see. That still works, which is nice. But, so, the problem is that time step, I'm not actually passing my time step to step simulation. And you know why? Because delta time, because I'm using the engine's delta time, which actually is the rendering delta time. So yeah, You know how in Unity, if you move a like time delta time, if you move it into fixed update, it will automatically make the delta time use the fixed delta time. But in my case, it's not happening. I have to do it manually. So I'm gonna pass a delta time, which is a constant, of course. I'm gonna change all the delta times with this. Okay. I guess I got it only on only in two places. That's weird. Am I sure I got all of them? There's one here, one here. Smooth steer, that's okay. Smooth sun shadow, that's okay. Physics. Step, okay, that's fine. Simulate particles, that's fine. Camera mode, fine. Time since last shift, oh, that's fine. Okay, so I am actually updating shifter. I am updating the shifter in the physics, I think. So let's pass the delta time as well. So here it is. Yeah, I'm gonna pass the delta time. Pass through into step simulation. Okay. And then we also have an error that this thing wants delta time. So I'm gonna pass the time step. And that should fix it. Now our car should perfectly run in the physics step. And not in the rendering updates. Okay. Seems to work. And you know what? All the errors are suddenly gone. I don't have this. What the hell? Did I move to the old one? No, I didn't. Define. No, where's my define legacy? I am definitely not using the legacy model. Wow. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Okay, so you remember that I had awful physics. Wait a minute. Why is it not stopping? Okay, maybe the brake multiplier or something. Ah. Yeah, okay, it slides. I'm kind of in a state where I can't believe that this is working. Okay, seems like it really is working. So what's the thing? Well, here's the thing. The thing is that I had this really terrible issues of engine and tires not behaving correctly. Okay, the torque is still super slow. Maybe I need to raise the torque. Hello, Farfaday. So yeah, suddenly all my issues are gone, just by moving calculations from the rendering. Oh wait, I still have some issues. Okay. So not all issues are gone, but I've definitely minimized them. So there's one more issue where there, I'm pushing throttle but nothing happens. And why is that? I'm not exactly sure. So like throttle works now, but at some point it's like it loses all will there. It loses all the will to go up, even if it's in the first gear, and even if it's being like rolled by the ground. So there's something going on there. Okay, it still shakes, but not as much. So yeah, the weird thing is that the ground should, when it gets into this weird state, the ground should be pushing the wheels to rotate forward, and the clutch should also keep the tires rolling. I don't know. It's definitely really weird. But another thing we can do now is we can actually try to run the simulation much faster. How? By running the whole thing into multiple iterations. So let's call it, let's call this time step. And then I'm gonna say 10, and I'm gonna say that dt is actually time step divided by iterations. So 10 and then I want to move this all the way down. And hopefully it should not change the feel at all of the game. But what it will do is it will run physics at a higher rate. I mean the drivetrain code, so it should be less jarring. Well, nope. Okay, the transmission is definitely working faster. And there it is. It's locked again. So yeah, I do have this issue of throttle locking. I don't know how to call it. Interestingly, the throttle is far more responsive now with higher iterations. Is it about if it's about throttle? I can actually try to fix that. Where is it? Torque table. Okay, let's raise the torque. No, it has nothing to do with the... When the car is stopped, it's still vibrating. It looks amazing. Why does it look amazing? It's terrible. Because it's realistic. Well, it would be nice if it was like controllable. It's so powerful that it's so powerful that it's shaking from all the power. What it? Yeah, there's something. Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's one throttle. What the fuck is happening here? Okay, it seems to me like there's something like I am doing something to prevent. Yeah, maybe there is like some sort of a prevention of. Okay, so I have this coupling here. Spring multiplier. Okay. Clamp damp multiplier 0. What the hell is TDT? Oh, I see. It's transmission delta time. Okay, what if I coupling impulse? Well, I forgot what this function does, so let's try to put some damping. So brakes should maybe be 1. More. Okay, let's save this. Let's restart. Okay, it doesn't save. Long grip. Long grip mult. So let's just put it here. What if I do 100 iterations? Is that gonna fix anything? So, why does this work? Will it go forever if I hold the clutch? Whoops. Ah, reverse doesn't work. Okay. So I think for reverse that I'm actually I have this special case somewhere. Desired speed. Am I using desired speed? But the ratio of reverse is already negative. So yeah. Okay, it definitely wants to go forward. So desired speeds is the RPM. In my case, that's 1. Maximum wheel velocity. So what happens if I put into the 6th gear? Okay, you just slide. And it doesn't have power, which is good. That's exactly what you would expect. But it does try to match the lowest speed, so maybe you could exploit that. Because it's not allowed to turn off to, how do you say, Maybe I can start in the second. Yeah, still not enough torque. So yeah, starting in first is definitely good, which is exactly what you would expect. What if I lowered the inertia of the tires? Okay, more impulse, less grip. Yeah, this is even worse. So it definitely has to do something with the impulse. There it is. It just happens in the middle of nothing. So if the tires don't give me any inertia back, so I purely have engine force affecting the tires, then I don't have that problem. But yeah, and then I can just drive in 6th gear. Let me just drive in 6th gear. There it is. Well, the tire is preventing it from slipping. I mean, the tires are totally slipping, so no perfect grip. But you can when there's no impulse. The moment I add impulse, the car starts shaking. Okay, so one more thing. What if my iterations are 1 for transmission and I keep 100 iterations for the entire physics. There it is again. No, is it? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that also doesn't solve much. What? There's something wrong with the camera. So my question is, do tires even affect in the other the engine in the other way? Can I break free from this lock? Okay, let me make improvements to the GUI so that I can inspect it a bit better. Okay, first, let's put inputs. There it is. No, where was the first one? Okay, let's put this to the top. Acceleration should be first. Brake, clutch, steer. Steer should be third. The temperature is too low, so the body shakes itself. Now I understood what it means. Like it's freezing. Okay. Yeah, let's put the output at the top. Actually. No. This is not output, this is input. Okay. And then you have parameters. Let's put them in different headers actually. Collapsing header output. And then we also have speeds, throttle, there's more throttle, forward velocity, what is this throttle? Let's call this car parameters. And these are going to be car outputs. There's two car positions. Ah, this is start position. I see. Yeah, so these are all the stuff that is part of the output. Okay, so now I have these outputs at the top. Why is the accelerator? What the hell? What's going on with the acceleration? Inputs. No, this is flying car. Yeah, what did I put the acceleration? Yeah, this is not, this is actually the acceleration output, not the input. So yeah, I can just manipulate it and I can just say, yeah, tires, apply infinite force. And every time tires touch the ground, they're just flying away. But yes, that shouldn't be the case. This is incorrect acceleration input. It should be this, right? No, where's the... Where's my input? Oh, there it is. Smooth value axis A and D. Steer inputs. Okay. Brake inputs. Throttle. Ah, it's called just throttle. Yeah, that's confusing. So yeah, this is part of the input. And let's call it throttle input, and let's hope it gets refactored. Load throttle, what? Unconfirmed references. Physics car. Nope, not that one. Comments. Okay, let's see if everything breaks. Throttle input. Okay. Minus 10, 10. What the fuck? No, it should be 0 to 1. Wait a minute. There's throttle inputs. Okay, let's put throttle here. Acceleration, I mean. So, throttle works, brake works, steering works, clutch works. Actual speeds, wow. The speed is terrible. Okay, acceleration input. Why is the car shaking? it's shaking even in neutral. So there's definitely something going on. The acceleration value is shaking. The acceleration value is actually the one that is fed from the it's fed from the engine. But yeah, the thing is that because it's totally uncoupled, there it is. So I'm adding the force from the tires to the acceleration. Which I'm getting from tires. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? But if the speed is 0, the force should be 0 too. Yeah, but the force should be added. Yeah, the thing is that even if you're stationary, there's force on the tires from the road. So, Let me go over the thing again. So I'm calculating the engine speed and then transferring it to, I put this drag. Okay, throttle torque. I just multiplying by throttle input. Okay. And then I'm updating elements. Okay. Engine, drive. For transmission pitch. Coupling impulse damp. Why is 8 the default? Right, there is the drive road impulse, which I feed into back into the drive element. Okay, let me just commit this. Correct delta time and multiple iterations. Okay, so yeah, I now remember what this max wheel velocity was. It's that I don't actually have a real RPM. Or do I? Let's see, RPM. Right, it's not called RPM, but it's element velocity. It's the engine element's velocity, that's the RPM. But the thing is that the velocity yeah, is multiplied. And wheel velocity, is it rotational velocity or is it linear velocity? I can't remember. If engine element velocity is less than, yeah, this is where I'm like making it never go down. Let's try to turn this off. So that makes it not fall under idle. Yeah, it's totally broken now. It's probably... Oh, it's 0. Yeah, no. If you try to brake, it just kills the engine. Where am I actually setting the clutch? Clutch. What if I... where is coupling? Oh, there it is. Clutch input. Is there a variable already called clutch? It's impossible that there isn't. Clutch key input and clutch input. So there's two different clutches. Do I ever change clutch input? Clutch key input, okay. No. So let's override clutch. And instead of, yeah, if it is below idle, I'm gonna say that clutch is 1. So it should decouple it. Yeah, that doesn't work. I still need to keep it at some minimum. It's not an important part of it anyway. I'm just not exactly sure what causes my problems. Okay, so let's improve outputs a bit. I'm gonna add a little value logger. Do I have loggers? NTK logging. Where's logging? No, not logging. Plotting. Plot values. Yeah, fixed queue. I'm gonna add a fixed queue, which is basically a buffer that it's kind of like a queue, which is fixed. Well, I mean, it's called fixed queue. What am I talking about? So yeah, what it allows me to do is have some kind of let's call it a speed plot. And I'm gonna make a new one. Come on. It doesn't work. I think the first value should be size and then the default. Yeah, size, let's make it 256. Default is gonna be 0. Yeah, don't tell me you can't do that. Error type. Doesn't it work? What about this? Well, that magically works. So what's the difference? I didn't know there was a difference. I guess you can't initialize. Okay. Yeah, let's do a single speed plot. And then while I'm drawing the GUI for output, at the bottom I'm gonna say ntk draw plotting plot values. No, wait, I think I had it somewhere in my other thingy. It's here. No. Not that main, the other main. Wheel rig. I think it was this. Yeah, it's this one. Let me just copy this. So yeah, you say plot lines. Oh right, I remember that you have to pass it a size as well. So let's just put it in another method. Let's cram inside here. not in there, but in somewhere here. So what this does is it allows me to draw a nicer plot that changes all the time. You'll see in a moment. So let's do a draw plot GUI, and we're gonna label it acceleration, or was it speed? I can't remember now. Values, the span of values, we're gonna it's the car.plot, speed plots dot data, not data pointer, but data itself, which is a vector. And yeah, the height is gonna be 80. Okay, let's see if this works. So here is my little plot, and it doesn't work. Or does it? It's 0. It's 0 because I'm not pushing any values to it. Yeah, that's why. So yeah, speed plot, it's completely empty. So yeah, when I'm stepping simulation, let's at the end of it add plot, speed plot, push pcar. Let's put it in the for loop. Pcar velocity, forward velocity. Okay, let's do this just for a test. And there you can see the beautiful acceleration which jumps up and down. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. Oh, I just realized something. And that's that while I am stepping, yeah, then why is there a plateau here? The reason why there's a plateau is because I'm substepping transmission, the whole engine simulation, but I'm not actually substepping acceleration. Yeah, I totally forgot about that because I'm actually adding impulse in pcar. Yeah, you know what? I should actually update pcar, which is my physics car. I should actually simulate it. In my simulation function. So let's do that. I'm gonna put it here and then simulate. No, step. What was the update? Update action. Oh right, I'm also submitting it independently. This is a problem. I totally understand nothing. Yes, I know. Even I find it hard to understand. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, well, I'm gonna. So this is where I'm applying all the forces on the car. And the problem is that this is happening inside a separate sub-step. Yeah, but it won't even work. Applying impulse is not even gonna work because, yeah, I understood it now. So the thing is that I actually need to just increase the physics step. Can I do this? Can I do this? Where do I actually define? Ah, M iterations of something. Fixed delta time. I guess maybe in init. Nope, it's not there. Step simulation. Okay. Maximum substeps. Fixed time step. That's strange. Oh, I see. So it's 60 frames per second. And what is iterations then? Substeps. Okay, so I guess this is something that it has to do with convergence of maybe joints, which I don't have. Fixed time step. So yeah, basically I need to change the fixed time step. So this fixed delta time. Can I change? Yeah, it's public, so I should be able to just change it like engine physics fixed delta time. Set initialized parameters. No. Fixed delta time is 1 by, let's do 200 hertz. Hey, the car is no longer shaking. Well, too soon. Don't say congrats. So yeah, well, basically how I solved it is just by increasing the physics steps. It's the same thing that in Unity you go to like time options and you just decrease that number. That means that the CPU is doing more work. But who cares? Because this game runs at like 10,000 FPS anyway. Wow, it's so powerful when drifting. Yeah, I need to strengthen the sideways forces, I think. Oh, but I still have this issue. How much more work? Well, I moved from, so there it is. I moved from 1 by 60 to 1 by 200. So almost 4 times more work, right? That's the difference. How much is it? 200 by 60. So 3.33 times more work. So the question is now, should we do sub-steps or not? I mean, this is the thing. I'm calculating all of these things in a single, in 10 times less than the physics. So maybe I don't even need to do that anymore. Maybe I can just do it once. Oh, the bounce is so like, it's so bouncy now, the transmission. There's definitely something wrong. Like the car is not stopping at all when I'm going sideways. I think probably something to do with something to do with drag. Sorry, I mean the sideways friction. So let's check the car parameter. There it is. You see, the the acceleration now is smooth. So it is still bouncing, as you can see here. It's still going crazy, but, and as yeah, you can see it here, but it's happening faster. This is happening faster than the frames per second. So there is some shaking, but it's so fast that it gets interpolated by the physics. So that's basically it. That's the secret. Whoops. Let's try to run Monty. Here's my scene. I totally forgot about it. Nice car you got there. Oh, these trees look really nice. Oh! Oh, and there's a crash. What the hell? There's a car in the middle of the road. I totally forgot to remove it. And for some reason touching it crashes. So what the hell is going on there? Is it just because it's missing a material? Is it this? No, it's not. Okay. Well, now it didn't crash. That's strange. What the hell is this? Oh, it's the lights. Okay, the reverse is definitely broken. So yeah, the transmission is now a lot less bouncy and more powerful. I mean more like I don't know, inert. Doesn't bounce as much, that's what I mean. It bounces much slower. My god, so much power. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's reduce the grip a bit. Longitudinal grip. So that we slide more. And also, I don't know what happened with the sound. Because... oh no, there it is again. What the hell is going on? Such a weird bug I have. Where the engine just decides to not want to throttle up. And here's my barrier. Slidey slides. Very slidey wheels. Really strange behavior here. Like you're driving in snow, yeah. Whoops. Yeah, something happened to the squeaky tire sounds. I guess in refactoring I fucked up something. The brakes are way too hard. Oh, this is fast! It's going to fly. Now I need some aerodynamics to keep from flying, to keep myself on the ground. It's really, really strange. So, what I want you to look at. Yeah, I need to try to fix this. So, look at the throttle, okay? The first thing, right? I'm pressing throttle. You can see it here. But at some point, the car decides to lock itself in. So I brake. Well, now it doesn't want to do it. There, I'm pressing throttle to the maximum, as you can see, but the engine just doesn't want to run. And I have no idea why. Something is happening. And I know that it's something to do with the engine feedback. So the feedback that the engine gets from the road. So because when I'm gonna need to inspect the feedback. Because when I completely decouple, when I completely put a zero multiplier to the drive impulse, which is the impulse that the car gets from the road, then there is no such problem. So it's something to do. Whoops! I touched the acceleration input again. Okay, it's something to do with this inner. Where is it? The drive impulse. Nice crash. Perfect. So I think that I can work with this. Except for this fucking problem. There it is again. Nice. Okay, let's figure out what's going on with the sound. Slip for sound. What was it called? Slip something for audio, for sound. There it is. Slip ratio for sound. Car slip ratio. Is it even being set? No, nothing is setting the slip ratio. Why? Because that's why. Because I'm overriding it. Classic mistake. So classic. Okay, so now we should fix. By the way, let's take a quick look after I finish driving onto my to-do list. I am planning to publish the game on Wednesday after all, so okay. Yeah, there it is. There's the sliding sound again. Cool. But yeah, there should be some sliding sound when actually sliding as well. Sideways. Okay, let's add a few more plots. Let me add a slip plot, slip ratio plot. So I'm gonna slip ratio plot push dot push slip ratio. What else am I gonna do? Else I am also want to have. What do I need for to try to fix my? Oh yeah, I want to get the feedback. What's the feedback thing? Feedback factor. Okay, let's output that. But I'm gonna make a feedback plot. Feedback plots, and yeah, let's output this. Let's see where I'm mentioning it. There I am mentioning it. So slip ratio feedback plot, slip ratio plot. Cool. Okay, now we should have some data. some more data to work with. Car outputs, let's see. Oh, beautiful. They're all super noisy. Nice. So the feedback turns into a straight line. When the slip is 1, of course. Yeah. That makes sense. So slip goes down to 1 when I'm stopping. Why was it? Oh no. Yeah, I don't know where. I need some kind of a 0 point here, to be honest. Okay, so there's a very high spike. And there it is, there it happens. Okay. So, for some reason, feedback explodes upwards. But it doesn't make any sense because so yeah, feedback goes up. It doesn't make any sense because the velocity, the speed itself of the car. Okay, let me try something. What happens when I just, without any power, the car just rolls downwards? Oh, it doesn't. This is the problem. It's making music. So the car should be rolling downwards when there's no... like this. Yeah, on its own. On the power of gravity. And why doesn't it? And what about reverse? Yeah, same thing. Okay, so it means that something is going on. So I'm pretty sure that this is the problem. That the road, when the car is at a high speed, without any power, let's say you're in neutral, right? You go really fast and you're in neutral, and the road should push tires. It should push tires, right? And why doesn't it? Okay, I think this is the problem. Why do I even have this? So if it's... okay, well, I guess I made this at some point. to reduce an influence on the engine or something. Yeah, but the engine is not coupled to the drive anyway. Let's see what we did now. Okay. Interesting. If we put it in neutral, it stops. Who says it should stop? It shouldn't stop, it should keep going. Going down slopes doesn't change anything either. Yeah, let's just make sure that road impulse. Okay, let's add a. Oh yeah, I do have road impulse. Feedback factor is longitudinal force. Velocity difference of what? What is this velocity difference? Desired speed. Okay, let me debug the road impulse as well, not just the feedback factor. What the hell is wrong with this plot? Why does it only appear later? So, this is the moment. This is the moment where it gets fucked. This is the moment where it gets unfucked. Actually. What? No, I didn't want to do that. What? There. Okay, so for some reason this feedback is so strong that it's keep feeding the drive road impulse, and at some point it just decides to drop suddenly and give me control of the car. And why is this happening? Why is this happening? Let me see what this velocity difference is after all. I think I'm using it to calculate the acceleration needed. Desired speed is basically the wheel speed. Let's output that. Wow, there's 10 viewers on the even though I have sort of quietly announced let's see. Maybe it's because it's Sunday. So desired speed, okay, it makes sense. So desired speed goes to 0. I think this is the problem. Desired speed suddenly goes to 0 when you go to neutral. Oops. So if it's uncoupled, wait a minute. What happens to desired speed when I hold the clutch? So look, holding the clutch actually makes the wheels roll forwards. So going to neutral should do the same. Except that it doesn't care about slopes at all. So what if I say if uncoupled desired speed equals actual speed? Is it decoupled? Yeah. And it broke. I think it exploded completely. Okay, well, I can't do that. I think that makes it go to infinity. I might as well just rewrite everything because I don't remember what I was doing here. Coupling multiplier. It's 1. What if I add 100? Just testing what happens. So yeah, I'm slowly going to end this stream. Uh, oh wow, and there's 12 viewers now. This is most I ever had at the same time. No, I don't know. Anyway, I might actually rewrite everything. Just to try. But yeah, there's something wrong with the way that I calculate feedback. I just have to think about it. The feedback, is the feedback even going to the wheels? Yes, it is. So why do the tires just stop when it's neutral? That's I don't understand. Just as if it applies brakes. It actually looks exactly the same as... Wait. Yeah, let me just apply brakes. Let me increase the brake. No, not brake input. Not outputs, I want parameters. Let's increase the brakes. Okay, definitely more powerful. Okay, it's not that. Could it be slip? How does the slip look like? Slip ratio. It goes down to -1. So it's the same as in braking. And why does it go to -1? So when the engine is working, let's think about it. When the engine is working and it's fully coupled, it's applying force to the drive element, and the drive element is updated. And then I calculate, okay, what's the speed of the drive element? Okay. And then I have this stupid if. But we're not doing reverse now. Okay, I take the actual speed. Should it even work with the actual speed? And then, okay, I have amp speed, which is used over there. Okay, so the difference between desired and actual velocity is the velocity difference. And then I use this difference I shouldn't use this difference. What if I just use this? Don't explode, please. Okay, interesting. I'm not touching the keys. It's doing this by itself. It's an automatic car. I can turn around and fall off. Whoa! Yeah, I think there's a minus sign here, so it should be a minus. Yeah, why the hell is there this velocity difference thing? I think this is it. I think this is the problem. This velocity difference was the problem all along. For some reason, I forgot to remove it when I was adding this feedback factor at the end of them. Okay. And should it actually depend on ratio? I don't think so, because the ratio is already calculated. Drive road impulse. Yeah, and then I should multiply with this multiplier because it's just a multiplier. It's a thing that I can configure it in GUI. And now, if I take these parameters, I reduce, oops. I reduce the drive impulse to something 0, 1. Okay, the wheels are working. I think this is it. There, I don't have this problem anymore. I don't have that problem, except that everything is jittering even more now. Because we're feeding in this... yeah, because I'm feeding in transmission. This drive impulse goes into a loop and then gets fed back into our transmission. So let's try adding some multiple iterations of for this one. Okay. Okay, that's unusual. Whoa, there's some nice shapes. I think that I think it has gone into some kind of a standing wave situation. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just have a single iteration. You know what? Let's just do the stupid thing, and that's let's increase the delta time even more. I mean decrease. So the physics is gonna run at 400 hertz now. Okay, we still have some jittering. Okay, what the hell did I do now? Because now nothing works. Okay, iterations. Oh right, I forgot to modify the drive road impulse. Let me add that into my config. So instead of where is that? Drive road impulse roads. Impulse. No, what's the name of it? Shouldn't I have it? Drive road impulse. Shouldn't I have it in my... Nope. Okay, interesting. So yeah, let me make it 1 instead of 3 for the beginning. Still super jittery. So yeah, at least the good thing is that it's braking. It's braking my engine, so when I slow down, it does stop my engine. Okay, let's try adding iterations now. Iters. Okay, it does look less jittery. It just needs tweaking some of the values. Oh, hey, look. Okay. Well, I thought I thought this works now, but no. Wait. Okay, reverse is still broken. So look, the car is rolling downwards now. Yay! Under its own power in neutral, except that it's so jittery. You can turn around in place. Yeah, because steering is totally fake. I need to improve steering. So yeah, I'm not even simulating the 4 tires, you know? The steering is totally direct. So when I press left, the car turns left. So even if you're stopped, you're totally turning. But yeah, you can basically, there is a formula with which you can you have a minimal speed. You can calculate the angle at which you're like turning around if you're like depending on the rotation of your wheels, so that when you're stopped you don't rotate like this. So I'm gonna do that instead of calculating all 4 wheels. And the reason why I'm not simulating all 4 tires is just because it's much more fun and much easier to tweak the values when you're directly manipulating rotation instead of having like steering tires, and then you have like, you know, you have understeer and oversteer and stuff like that. So I'm just completely avoiding all of that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end the stream now. I did fix my biggest issue that I had, and that is why was the car slowing down for no reason? Like it got slow and then you couldn't throttle up. Now you can throttle up at any moment. As you can see, wow, beautiful graphs. The problem is that it's, it is a bit jittery. We could reduce the feedback force. Okay, there's less jitter if you reduce the feedback force, but the feedback force is important. So yeah, I'm gonna go eat something first, and then tweak the parameters. So reverse is still broken. So here's the thing. The actual speed is not used anymore. That's velo diff. So I can remove it. Is something else using it? No. Audio engine drive velocity diff. Okay. So the question is, should it be proportional to ratio or not? That's a good question for another time. So yeah. Well, this is why this is why it failed, because I was dividing by ratio, which is 0. Yeah, and there was a drive float impulse was 0. Yeah. Anyway, good thing. Let's just, for the end, for the last thing, let's put it, let's double the hertzage. Let's put it to 400 hertz per second. Physics update. Just for fun. Still jittery. The grip is way too high now. Where's the grip? Grip, 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 grip. Grip, 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 grip. Okay, what if I reduce the grip? Really weird. But I think I'm on the good path. That's the most important thing. And about this reverse, maybe, yeah, reverse. Is reverse gonna be fixed? If I just do this. Oh, right, it won't, because I do need to spin it around. But why is it not relative to ratio? Yeah, it's still going forward, even in reverse. Okay, cool. So, I have fixed my issues. Now let's try to drive around the... The thing is that max wheel velocity should change according to the ratio. Oh yeah, I just remembered that I actually increased the coupling somewhere. Coupling multiplier to 100. And what was it before? Where is coupling multiplier? It's in the parameters. There it is. It was 1. Okay, this is better. Except that it's really... Okay, let me try driving my Monty with this. Oh! Crash. Why? I don't know. Okay, good thing is that it's drivable. Way too much grip. Let's reduce the grip. And why is there no sound again? Okay. Now there's way too little. And let's crash. Oh, it didn't crash now. Okay. I'm gonna end here because I have to go. The view of the village for the end. Okay, so thanks for being on the stream. Again, this one went for too far. And yeah, just physics stuff. It's not too interesting. But anyway, I'm glad I fixed something. Tomorrow is gonna be a special one because we're gonna work on something interesting. And that is, first, I'm going to try to get. So yeah, in the meantime, until tomorrow, I'm going to make. I'm going to tweak these values, okay. And then tomorrow for the stream, first I'm going to do. I'm gonna start to use this red line in the middle, and that's for detecting materials. So I want to be able to detect what is tarmac, what is grass, what is mud, what is house. Maybe not house, but yeah, tarmac and grass, most important, so that I can have different responses from my wheels. That's number one thing. And number two thing, I want to implement checkpoints and timing. And that's also going to work with physics, I think. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Just put some colliders, like triggers, basically, in Unity speak. That's triggers along the track, and then, detecting the triggers, and then being able to But yeah, it is both connected with physics, because this is raycasting into the world and then finding which part, and the other thing is collision responses. And then maybe if there is some time, I'm going to add some collision sounds, because collision responses, it's both crash sounds and checkpoints are gonna use the same system, kind of. So yeah, so thanks for being here. Greetings from the valley of, I forgot what's the name of the town, but yeah, anyway. What was the name? Fuck, Chamois. Yeah, Chamoisville. That's how we called it. Farfadet, if you're there. Anyway, yes. Thanks for being here again, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Crash. and I have to stop.